You've probably felt it before. That moment when someone walks into the room and suddenly your brain short circuits. Your heart speeds up, your palms get a little sweaty, and you can't look away. It feels like magic. Like fate. Like this must mean something. But here's what nobody tells you. That feeling isn't love. It's just stage 1. And if you don't understand the 5 stages of true attraction, you'll probably give up right before the good part actually starts. Let's break this down. Because according to biological anthropologist Helen Fisher, who studied 166 different societies, romantic attraction follows a predictable pattern. The same pattern. Across cultures, across centuries, across continents. The problem? Most people get stuck at stage 3 and mistake it for the end. It's not. It's actually the beginning of something much better. But to understand why, you need to know what's actually happening in your brain at each stage. Stage 1. The spark. This is where it all starts. You see someone and your brain immediately begins flooding itself with dopamine, the same chemical released when you win a game, eat your favorite food, or scroll through social media for hours. It's a reward signal. Your brain is basically saying, pay attention to this person. They might be important. You might call it chemistry. Scientists call it a neurological response. Either way, it happens fast. Research shows it takes about 1/5 of a second for your brain to decide if someone is attractive. That's faster than a blink. During this stage, everything is surface level. You're drawn to how they look, how they carry themselves, maybe the sound of their voice, or the way they laugh. Your body releases norepinephrine alongside that dopamine hit, which is why your heart races and you feel nervous around them. It's your body going into what researchers describe as high alert mode, ready for something significant. But here's the important catch. This stage is pure instinct. No logic, no real understanding of who they are as a person. Just primal biology doing its thing. And while it feels important, it's really just an invitation, not a promise. Stage 2, the obsession. Now things get intense. If stage 1 was a spark, stage 2 is a full-on fire. You can't stop thinking about them. They're the first thing on your mind when you wake up and the last thought before you fall asleep. Every text feels like a jolt of electricity. Every glance they give you gets analyzed for hidden meaning. You start checking your phone obsessively, rereading old messages, imagining conversations that haven't happened yet. This is the infatuation stage, and it's driven by a cocktail of chemicals that literally mimics addiction. Researchers have found that the brain patterns of people in early-stage romantic attraction are remarkably similar to those of people addicted to drugs. Your dopamine levels spike while your serotonin drops, creating that obsessive, can't think about anything else feeling. This is why you might neglect other responsibilities, spend less time with friends, or lose your appetite. Your brain has put everything else on the back burner. You start fantasizing constantly. Maybe you imagine your first trip together, your dream wedding, what your future kids might look like, how you'll tell your friends you finally found the one. According to psychologist Dorothy Tenov, this state is called limerence, a term she coined for the maddeningly preoccupying thoughts that come with intense attraction. And here's where it gets tricky. During this stage, you're not falling for who they actually are, you're falling for an idealized version you've created in your head. You see what you want to see. Their flaws? Invisible. Their red flags? Charming quirk. Reality hasn't entered the chat yet. According to relationship experts, infatuation allows you to see what you want others to be rather than who they are. That's a dangerous place to build a relationship from. But it feels so good that most people don't even notice. They think this is what love is supposed to feel like forever. Spoiler alert, it's not. And when it starts to fade, that's when stage 3 hits. Stage 3, the crash. This is where most people miss it. The stage that separates those who find lasting connection from those who keep chasing the high forever. Stage 3 is when the fantasy starts to crack. The rose-colored glasses come off. Sometimes suddenly, sometimes gradually. You start noticing things that weren't visible before. Maybe they're messier than you thought. Maybe they don't text back as quickly. Maybe that quirk you found adorable now grates on your nerves. Maybe you have your first real disagreement and realize they handle conflict completely differently than you do. This is disillusionment, and it feels like the love is dying. Your brain might even tell you that you made a mistake, that this clearly isn't the right person, that you need to start over and find someone who gives you that feeling again. But here's what the research actually shows. It's not dying, it's transforming. According to experts at the Cleveland Clinic, this stage involves some disillusionment as you move beyond idealization to see the real person. Your brain is literally recalibrating. The dopamine high is fading because your body can't sustain those chemical levels forever. Psychologists suggest this phase typically hits somewhere between 18 months and 3 years into a relationship. The obsession is loosening its grip, and for the first time, you're seeing them clearly. Most people panic here. They think the spark is gone, so they must have chosen wrong. They leave and start over with someone new, chasing that stage 1 and stage 2 high all over again. Psychologists call this pattern romantic addiction. Constantly seeking the chemical rush of early attraction without ever building something deeper. Some people spend their entire lives bouncing from relationship to relationship, never understanding why nothing ever lasts. But those who push through stage 3, they discover something unexpected. The crash isn't the end. It's the gateway. Stage 4. The decision. This is the stage nobody talks about because it's not romantic. It's not dramatic. It doesn't make for good movies or viral social media posts. There's no grand gesture here, no sweep you off your feet moment. After the fantasy fades and reality sets in, you face a choice. Not an emotional impulse, an actual conscious decision. Do you want to build something with this person as they actually are? Not the version you imagined, not the potential you hoped for. The real, flawed, complicated human standing in front of you. This is where attachment starts to form. Your brain begins producing more oxytocin and vasopressin, hormones associated with bonding and long-term connection. But unlike the earlier stages, this doesn't happen automatically. It requires intentional engagement and effort from both people. You have to choose to stay curious about them. Choose to communicate through the hard parts. Choose to see their imperfections not as deal breakers but as part of what makes them human. According to psychologist Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love, this is where intimacy and commitment enter the picture. Passion got you here. But intimacy, the deep knowing of another person, only develops through time and honesty. And commitment? That's a conscious choice you make over and over again, not just once. It's less exciting than the earlier stages, but it's infinitely more valuable and infinitely more rare. Stage 5. True connection. If you make it here, something shifts. The relationship stops being about what they give you and starts being about what you build together. This is mature love, and it looks different than the movies promised. According to researchers, it's characterized by a sense of calm, security, and genuine care for your partner's well-being that exists even when they frustrate you. The butterflies might be quieter now, but something else has taken their place. Peace. You know them. Really know them. Their fears, their dreams, their weird habits, the things they're ashamed of, the ways they've been hurt, the jokes, only the two of you understand, and they know you the same way. That vulnerability, that mutual seeing, creates a bond that initial attraction could never build on its own. Studies show that long-term relationship satisfaction depends less on physical attraction over time and more on emotional connection, shared values, and communication quality. The couples who thrive aren't the ones who stayed in the honeymoon phase forever. That's biologically impossible. They're the ones who let it evolve into something deeper and more resilient. They chose each other not because of how they felt in stage 2, but because of who they discovered in stages 3, 4, and 5. So here's the real question. Which stage are you in right now? And if you're in stage 3, feeling like everything is falling apart, maybe consider this. You might be exactly where you need to be. The disillusionment isn't a sign you chose wrong. It's the test. It's the doorway. And on the other side is the kind of connection most people give up on right before it starts. Don't be most people. What stage resonates most with your experience? Share in the comments below. And if this helped you understand attraction differently, subscribe for more content like this.